Let's talk about kerosene pickles. Let's talk about Old Man Rimshaw. Let's talk about Barney's sidecar. It's always fun to hang out with y'all. A loaded goat is causing a stir from the panic he is creating. Come on in, take a seat. It's 2 chairs, no waiting. Sit a spell and tune right in. We are about to start the show. We have a lot to talk about with the folks that we all know. Opie, Andy, and Otis Barn and the Darlings too. This will be amazing. It's 2 chairs, no waiting.
Episode number 851, If I Met Andy.
It's 2 chairs, no waiting. It's 2 chairs, no waiting. Let's start the show. 2 chairs.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to 2 Chairs, No Waiting. I'm the host, Allan Newsome, here for the podcast. It is great to have you with me. I want to thank our executive producer of tonight's episode, the folks that attended the Mayberry meetup in 2025. Thank you all very much for your donations. And I want to thank our High Sheriff of Mayberry for episode 851, Chris Schmerl. Thank you very much. Folks, thank you for being here. It is always fun to just visit and talk about the Andy Griffith Show. And today, whenever you're actually listening to this, we're going to go through a poem that I found. I've been going through my computer and I keep finding things that I'm like, oh, this is really cool. And things that I've never shared with you guys, or I thought I hadn't. One of the things we're going to share later, or going to show you later, if you're watching the video, you'll be able to see it, at least pictures and stuff that are associated with it. And if you're just listening, you're going to enjoy that too. But it's when Andy Griffith was on the Grand Ole Opry. Now, turns out I have already done a podcast episode about this back in April of 2012. It was episode number 182 or 851. I think, I can probably do it again because I didn't remember I'd done it. But sure enough, it's out there. But I ran across it, and that was cool as well. So we're going to just make it an Andy night. We're going to have all kinds of Andy information tonight. So let's get this thing started with a poem. Now, this poem was written back in 2001, or at least that's when I received it. And it was in the Who's Been Messing Up the Bulletin Board chapter. It was part of the digest email that everybody gets. Somebody had written this, a fellow who online goes by Al Becker. He went by Al Becker in 2001. And he wrote this nice poem, and I thought this is really something that should be shared out there. So we're going to get some poem type music going. There we go. Doesn't that sound like poem music? Just we can relax and calm down and take life easy and slow. Now this poem is called If I Ever Met. If I met Andy Griffith, I'd shake his hand and thank him, as would any dedicated fan, 'cause with Ron Howard as his son, there wasn't a better father than the man with no gun. If I saw Don Knotts, I'd greet him if I could and politely ask him to harmonize with me on a chorus of Church in the Wildwood. To meet Betty Lynn would be such a treat. I'd simply ask for permission to kiss her softly on the cheek. When greeting Maggie Peterson, I admit I'd be shy, but I'd ask her to sing Slimy River Bottom so she could give me a slow wink and hear her say, "Nah, that one makes me cry." I'd address Howard Morris with the greatest of ease. I'd tell him funny stories just to hear that earnest he. Approaching George Lindsay, I'd say, "Hey, Goob." And he'd probably say in character, and say, let's give your old junker a lube. To say hello to grinning Jim Neighbors would be such a thrill. We'd exchange salutes, you know, the usual drill. To Bernard Fox, my proper English would be awful. But no matter, I just clear my throat and ask, just how do you make a paper ladder? I'd be timid meeting Buddy Ebsen. My throat, it would have a lump. I'd have to say twice to ask, can you really hear a fish jump? And wouldn't it be funny on meeting Clint Howard in this wonderful place if he were to quietly approach me and push a peanut butter and jelly sandwich towards my face? I think of all those who are gone, just to have spent time with Jack Dodson, Bert Mutson, Denver Pyle, and Mr. Hal Smith. And I haven't forgotten the talented Jack Prince, Anita Corso, Francis Bavier, and Joanna Moore. And to have sat with Howard McNear and chatted would have brought chuckles and made my spirit soar. Sometimes I wonder why I get so lonesome at night when the day is over and the sun is out of sight. For the best company I keep my tags near the Andy Griffith Show, and the echoes of these fine Mayberry folks always remain clear. So if I ever met, that was the name of the poem, and it was written by Al Becker in 2001. So I hope you like that. I thought that was a really cool, just thinking about that, getting to meet all those amazing cast members from the Andy Griffith Show. And I'm sure everybody that's listening to this podcast knew who they all were. You talked about Andy Griffith. Obviously, it's Andy Taylor, Don Knotts, Barney, Betty Lynn, Thelma Lou, Maggie Peterson, Charlene. Of course, I think everybody knew these. Ernest T. was Howard Morris. George Lindsay is Goober. Jim Neighbors, Gomer. Bernard Fox is Malcolm Merriweather. And Buddy Ebsen, he was the guy that was fishing down at the lake. And I can't think of his character's name. What is his name? Somebody in the chat room will tell me. But, of course, Clint Howard was Leon. And then he listed out many of our cast members. David Brown, thank you very much. Lydia in our chat room gave me the answer. Speaking of our chat room, if you'd like to join us on Monday nights, we have folks in our chat rooms live with us on Monday nights at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. If you go to live.twochairsnowaiting.com, you can meet us there, or you can be over on our Facebook or our YouTube page. And everybody's chatting and visiting with one another and just having a good time. Monday nights at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. So it'd be good to have you there with us. So that is the poem I wanted to share with you. As I ran across it, like I said, I've been going through and I found all kinds of things in my hard drive. It's on my hard drive. All kinds of stuff. And the funny thing was, I'm starting to think some of them are not that old, and I realized, oh, that's from 20 years ago. Things are from 2005, 2004, 2007, 2006. And I'm thinking, no, it's not that old. I probably had, oh, wait, that's 20 years plus in some cases, or just shy in some others. But anyway, I hope you like that. One of the things I did run across is a Q&A session with Andy. Now, this was from June of 2007, and I thought, trying to make this Andy Griffith night, these were the questions that were asked by a fellow named Bob Toraletti. Toraletti is his name, Bob Toraletti. He asked these questions. This question was, how important is it for younger generations to have older people to help guide them through life? He asked Andy Griffith this. Andy responded, oh, it's very important. I have that with my daughter, and certainly Andy Taylor had it with Opie. People are looking for that sort of relationship all the time. It's up to us as older people to look after, as best we can, younger people, and for them in turn to look after their younger people. It goes on and on and on that way. The next question was, for how many years in the 1960s, or for many years in the 1960s, you were a sort of father figure on TV for all of America? What's the main difference between being a dad and raising kids then as compared to now? Andy's response was, well, it might be more difficult now. I don't know, what with the war in Iraq. The 1960s were difficult, too. Difficult times never stop, and so we all have to be prepared for them, to face them the best way we can with the help from God. So what was the one piece of advice you gave your kids as they were growing up that still holds true today? Andy said, to be honest, when a question comes up, to answer it honestly, not to dodge, to keep it clear, and to keep it honest and fresh. And the last question he asked was, how about your father? Are there things he told you as a young man that you still remember to this day? Andy responded, my father had a great love in his heart and great work ethic. He was early, and I've followed that my whole life. He was always early. I've always followed that my whole life. When I was on Broadway, you were there half an hour before curtain. I was always there half an hour before the half an hour. So there you go. Those are Q&As in an interview that was done years ago in 2007 with Andy Griffith. I thought you would like those answers. All right. So the last little bit of thing I have for you is coming up in just a minute, but I did want to mention our sponsor every week that I haven't been good about answering or mentioning is Weaver's Department Store. Drop by over at Weaver's and you can pick up some of the cool new things they got over there. Got some great new books. The Enduring Legacy of the Andy Griffith Show by Randy Turner. It's a nice small size book that you can read. It's 10 Reasons for Mayberry's Lasting Popularity by Randy. And they also have over at Weaver's got Mayberry Lawman Ladies Sleep Shirts. Yeah, that's right. They got all kinds of patterns on there from the Andy Griffith Show. Go and check that out over at weaversdepartmentstore.com. And they also have The Gospel According to Andy Volume 2. They've had Volume 1 for quite some time, but Volume 2 is a recent addition. Head over to Weaver's and check it out. All right, so next year we're going to talk about Andy when he was on the Grand Ole Opry. So this was from 2000. Let's see, do I have that? It was in the early 2000s when he was there. November 13th, 1999. It wasn't 2000s. It was 99 when he was there. He appeared for the first time on the Grand Ole Opry on that date, November 13th, 1999. Andy was at the Opry to present fellow Tar Heel Earl Scruggs with the North Carolina Hall of Fame Award. And Andy, he had been kept secluded backstage, so Earl didn't know that he was there, and he actually presented this nice award to him right there. That was a really cool experience. And if you want to learn more about this particular story, I did a podcast about this completely and talked a lot about it. It's back from 2012. April 3rd. It's episode number 182. You can go back and listen to that. It's called Andy Griffith on the Opry, and you can go and check that out. But I thought these videos would be something that would be worth sharing once again. So I think you're really going to like this. You got Marty Stewart is the voice you're going to hear before Andy comes out there, and it's him talking to Andy as we go. So first we're going to hear he's got a Barber Story, and then I'll be back real quick, and then we're going to let him sing. Okay, so this is when he first walks on the stage at the Grand Ole Opry. It's a pretty big deal. Very first time he had ever performed there, and it's also the very first time he ever performed live on a stage like that. He didn't do that. He never performed like this on a big stage like that. But, you know, he had a good bit of practice. But here we go, Andy. Take it away.
We are proud to have a friend of ours come see us tonight. Like Earl Scruggs, he's from the great state of North Carolina. That's where this man's from. And without further ado, let's have a welcome for Mr. Andy Griffith. Andy, I think they like you. How about that? Welcome to Nashville.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Welcome to the I think I can speak on behalf of everybody in this house and everybody watching. You like family to us. We feel like we know you, and we're glad you're here at the Grand Ole Opry with us tonight.
Thank you, my dear.
Yes, sir.
I appreciate it.
Talk to him, neighbor.
Fella went to the barber shop one time and he asked the barber, how's it going? Barber said, busy, busy, busy. Fella left. Came in the next day, asked the barber, how's it going? Barber said, busy, busy. Fella left. And he came in the next day, said, how's it going? Barber said, busy. Fella left. After he left, the barber said to a friend of his, he says, there's something wrong with him. Said, if he comes in here tomorrow, I want you to follow him, see where he's going. Sure enough. Next day he came in and says, how's it going? Barber says, busy. Fella left. Barber says, follow him, see where he's going. He did, and after a while he come back, and he said, where's he going? He said, your house.
Oh, me. So, yeah, that was Andy. Now, that joke actually was a joke that George Lindsay Goober had told Andy years before, and Andy used it on the Grand Ole Opry. So, isn't that really cool? So, you heard the music starting to key up right there. So, we're going to hear him sing Whoa Mule. It's also called Flop-Eared Mule. If you're listening to one of the CDs and stuff like that Andy had, it's Flop-Eared Mule on that. So let's go and hear Whoa Mule by Andy Griffith on stage with at the Grand Ole Opry, accompanied by Earl Scruggs.
Whoa, Mule! Ticket mule, a mule, I say. I ain't got time to kiss you now, my mule's run away. I used to have an old banjo all strung up with twine, and the only song you can me sing was I wish that gal was mine. Oh, a mule, you can mule, a mule, I say. I ain't got time to kiss you now, my mule's run away. My wife to the barnyard, and I set her down to supper, where she got choked on a turkey leg and stuck her nose in butter. Oh, a mule, you kicking mule, oh, a mule, I say. I ain't got time to kiss you now, my mule's running away. Face is like a coffee pot, your nose is like a spout. Your mouth is like a fireplace with all ashes out. Well, with all the ashes out, boy, all ashes out. Your face is like a fireplace with all ashes out. Whoa, mule, kicking mule, whoa, mule, I say. I ain't got time to kiss you now, my mule's a run away.
Isn't that cool? That is so cool. So I should clarify, that wasn't his first time performing live. It was the first time on a live television broadcast like that. So that was Andy's first time performing music live on a television broadcast that was live. You know, so that was one. So, wow, is that not really cool? Yeah, so he was there to present, as I said, an award to Earl Scruggs. It was the North Carolina Hall of Fame award that he was there presenting, and wow, what a big night at the Grand Ole Opry. He received a extended standing ovation after his performance. So, man, I'd love to have been there. Jim Clark, our presiding goober emeritus for the Andy Griffith Show Real Archers Club, was there. If you go back and listen to that old episode, I read his full report from that evening, and it's really pretty cool. Andy was not feeling well that night, and Jim mentions that there was a special Mayberry guest that was going to be on the second show, because they do 2 shows of the Grand Ole Opry each night, and they were going to appear on stage with Andy in that second showing, but Andy didn't feel well, so he didn't make it, so it never happened. So go back and listen to that episode if you want to hear what happened. So I'm not going to tell you, because I want you to go back. It's episode number 182, Andy Griffith on the Opry. Plus, you'll get to hear those songs and that story once again. Folks, I hope you really enjoyed that. I think it's amazing. I love it so much. So we did have some comments that came in over the last, last few weeks. So here we go to our first one. This one is from over on YouTube, and it's from Sharon. She says, another movie role. She's responding to episode number 848, Don Knotts 101. She says, another movie I enjoyed Don Knotts in was Sheriff in Hot Lead and Cold Feet. That's a great one. He was constantly battling his deputy. Let's see. And Jim Dale played 3 different roles in such a funny movie. And of course, his role in No Time for Sergeants. I got most of the trivia questions right on that particular episode, she says, and just missed out on the socks. I hope you have a great Mayberry week. Thank you very much for taking time to write in. Got another one. This one's from Benjamin. He says, Allan, Bob McQuain was my father. Now, Bob McQuain, if you're watching the video version, I'm getting cut off here, but Bob McQuain was in multiple episodes of the Andy Griffith Show, by the way, in case you guys don't know that. Bob McQuain was my father. Thanks for talking about my dad. We have always enjoyed seeing him on different episodes once in a while. He did Perry Mason, The Case of the Fickle Filly, a Gunsmoke, and 2-part Disney episode for TV called Bristleface. He had Dick Link as his agent, the same as Andy and Don and everybody. A bunch of the cast members had him, Richard Link. I can tell you more if you're interested. Thanks again. David is who he actually is. Dave McQuain. He is, it says Benjamin in his link up there. But David McQuain, thank you so much for that. He was responding to episode number 824, a long time ago here. Barney Gets His Man. So I've got to try to be able to get in touch with him, because I would love to know more. That would be good. I believe it would be great to hear from him. So I'm going to try to reach out again. This last message we have is from Bob, and he lives in Morgantown, West Virginia, the home of Don Knotts, he says. I saw the boarding house where Don grew up. There is a street in Morgantown named Fife where Don played as a youth, thus the name Barney Fife. Oh, that's interesting. Now, he was again responding to episode number 848, Don Knotts 101. So that is great. Thank you very much, Bob. Thanks for taking time to write in with your comments. Those were over on our YouTube channel. So if you're following along on YouTube, you can see all the comments. It's always fun to read the comments. So you guys may want to go over there and read comments. It's really fun. I know a lot of people just listen to the podcast, but if you watch it, you can head over to YouTube. Guys, that is all I have. That is it. I guess we could do a couple of trivia questions if everybody wants to do a few. So let's get our trivia music going. All right. Question number 1, true or false? Barney once locked himself in a safe. True or false? Barney once locked himself in a safe. The answer? He did. He locked himself in the safe. He busted through the wall. Okay, number 2. Name the pharmacist who moved to town to help her uncle. Oh, my goodness. That one's hard. Name the pharmacist who moved into town to help her uncle. The answer is Ellie Walker. Ellie Walker. I'm pretty sure y'all got that one. Number 3. Barney said that Mrs. Magruder had what type of medical condition? Barney said that Mrs. Magruder had what medical condition? That one's a little harder than Ellie Walker. All right. All right. Folks in our chat room are getting it correct. The answer, because he was Mrs. Magruder's cousin in that episode when he got locked into the safe. She has fungus of the knee. Fungus of the knee is what he said. All right. Number 4. Name the sister and brother-in-law of Aunt B who visited the Taylors and overstayed their welcome. Name the sister and brother-in-law of Aunt B who visited the Taylors and overstayed their welcome. The answer, it was handsome is as handsome does. Handsome is a boy, handsome is a man. It was Nora and Ollie. Nora and Ollie. All right, we're only going to do 4 questions. We're going to get out of here. How did you do, though? How did you do on those? All right. I think you probably did pretty good. Those weren't too hard. The fungus of the knee is probably the hardest. Nora and Ollie, that might be a little bit hard for some of us to recall that, but I think we got it. So, folks, I would love to hear from you. You can give me a call at 256-513-9526. All right. You got that? It's a new number. 256-513-9526. You can give me a call. The number is on our website. So if you go to twochairsnowaiting.com, you'll find it right there. If you can't find twochairsnowaiting.com, go to imayberry.com. The link to the podcast is right there. It'll take you right to it. It's on every episode. It has that phone number so you can get it. Love to hear from you because otherwise I have to read things like I was reading tonight from people. So I'd love to hear from you. You can also email me at floyd@imayberry.com or go to any of the websites, YouTube, Facebook, wherever Two Chairs. I'll try to find it. Folks, until next time, have a great week.